much time do you think you spend on social media every single day? An hour, 2 hours, more, less? The Odyssey Online states the average teenager spends about 6 hours scrolling through their feeds, and the average adult spends about 4 hours doing the same thing. Now I know I am super guilty of this. I will get all ready for bed, lie down, and end up spending 3 hours scrolling on TikTok. But when we think about it, if we spend so much time on social media, how does that influence the way that we think or the way that we talk or act? For example, fitness and nutrition content on social media has been linked to the increase in the amount of body image issues and even the increase in the amount of eating disorders diagnosed in teenagers. This issue has a lot of personal importance to me because I have fallen victim to the amount of fitness and nutrition content on social media and the way that it negatively affects the way that I think about myself and even influences my eating disorder. The bottom line is there is a huge influence that social media has, and it is extremely negative. And there's a huge problem in the way that social media portrays fitness and nutrition content that needs to be changed. And I'm not okay with being a bystander anymore. Over the past decade, the increase in the role of social media that it plays in our lives has been subsequently followed by an increase in body image issues and eating disorders amongst teenagers. And I think few people realize just how much of a role social media plays in our lives. The University of Pittsburgh found that those who spend an increased time on social media have a 2.2 more likely risk of being diagnosed with an eating disorder. Also, the Promises Behavior Treatment Center states that social media is the new standard for ways people compare themselves and promotes unhealthy habits. Basically, every time you go onto your phone and scroll on social media, you are increasing your chance of being negatively influenced by the content that you are consuming. To give you a little bit more of an inside look on this issue, I want to share my personal experience of dealing with social media, fitness, nutrition content, and my eating disorder. I have dealt with an eating disorder for a majority of my teenage years, and I cannot tell you the influence that social media, fitness, and nutrition has. I would be so consumed with following all the new diet trends and all, what workouts were being shown on my social media. When I started eating disorder recovery, my therapist strongly suggested that I either cut out all social media or decrease the influence of the amount of content that I was consuming because of the amount that it changes the way that we think about ourselves, and especially those who deal with an eating disorder, it changes the way that we think we should act. Now, I would never wish eating disorder and body image struggles on anybody, and I want to be an active part in changing the way social media portrays fitness and nutrition content. And if you aren't wanting to be an active part of that, then you might as well be encouraging that negative, unrealistic standard that some social media fitness and nutrition content create. So I want you to ask yourself, what are you doing to help prevent and change the way that social media portrays that content? If you're not doing anything right now or you can't think of anything, don't worry, I'm going to help you figure out some ways that you can help. I want to present you with some information. I took a poll on my social media and asked the questions of how do my followers feel social media has changed the way that they think about themselves and if they think any preventative solutions and measures need to be put in place. 95% of my followers agreed that they have felt the negative influence of fitness and nutrition content on social media, and it has changed the way that they think about themselves. There were so many responses of people sharing the way that they felt about themselves because of social media content, and 60% of them stated that they agree that trigger warnings and regulations need to be placed on this content. So, I'm not telling you that you need to delete all social media and go completely off the grid. And I'm not telling you that you need to go find all of these fitness and nutrition influencers and troll them online. I'm just stating that there's a huge issue that not many people realize, and something needs to be done about it. There are a lot of solutions that we can put in place to help change the way that social media is portraying this fitness and nutrition content. The first among those is putting trigger warnings on potentially sensitive content. How would you feel if something that you posted made somebody feel worse about themselves? I don't think anybody ever posts something and wants it to be negatively affecting their audience, but whether it's intentional or not, the fact is that some of the content is extremely triggering for people, and placing trigger warnings allows people who know that they are sensitive, struggle with body image issues and eating disorders, to prevent them from consuming that content. The European Congress of Obesity states of the 75% of teenagers who have an active social media, 53% of them stated and agreed that putting trigger warnings would help improve their mental health and to change the way that they consumed their content. The second preventative regulation measure I think that has to be put in place to enact change is that we should make sure that all of the fitness and nutrition content that is being posted on Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, needs to be based in fact. I think it's only right that the information that these content creators are sharing needs to be based in fact. Did you know that the University of Glasgow found that only 1 in 9 of every fitness and nutrition bloggers' content is based in fact? Only 1 in 9. That means 8 of them, these nutrition and fitness bloggers, are just spewing information that is false and not based in fact. And that is having such a negative influence, and these solutions that I'm presenting are the only way that we can see change and begin to enact and change the way that social media presents this content. So all these changes are only the first step though. Now that I have showed you what the problem is and provided you with ways that you yourself can actively be a part of the change, it is your responsibility to be a part of the change that needs to happen in social media. So what are you going to do? Are you going to find that fitness content online that you know is negatively affecting the way that you feel about yourself? And are you going to say, there should be a trigger warning on this? Because I think it's your responsibility to.